that's what my life is for right here. Like, my actions are consistent with that. If you look at me, you don't know me, you look like this guy is committed to TV. Right? And nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, that's what my life was for. During the day, then I get mad because I don't have enough money or I'm in debt or whatever's going on. But you can start to see what is the life I'm living by the actions I'm taking. And there I was. I'm on Facebook, judging and assessing people. You know, that's my life. That's what my life is for. There was no growth. Like, you would not actually look at me and go, that guy is authentically related and he is taking actions consistent with growing his business. I would talk about it, I would complain about it, get mad about it, make myself wrong. But there is nothing authentically creative. I was just concerned for surviving and avoiding life. Those actions are perfectly correlated to it.
Like this past weekend, I went up to visit my friend, his boyfriend in Keystone. And I haven't been up there since my dog passed away, and he was up there driving with me and always.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the car by myself, and I decided to take his ashes and go with my friend Joe. We're going to spread some ashes, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, this is why I live here, this is why I moved here. And I'm like acting like I've had injury for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm now getting back to being active again. So I don't even want to admit this, but I said to myself, you've been acting like a walking dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're like a walking, and I'm
Yeah.
not making a joke,
Yeah.
but it's like a serious joke. It's like, you know, you moved here for this.
Yes.
Get over it.
Yeah. No, that's powerful.
So-
I mean, you really have been the Walking Dead. You really have. And it takes courage to be straight about it. Like, in The Walking Dead. Like, is it? I mean, and I'm saying this.
My elbow injury, my leg injury.
Yeah.
My dog, my this.
Right? Yeah. I mean, this is really the first time you could be lied. You've been lied about it ever since your dog passed.
I mean, I'm making a joke.
No, I know, but this is the first time that. I mean, when did you put your dog down? Like November, February. Where are we at? We're in July now. Okay.
That's what I say. How did I get here?
Yeah.
Like, now it's July. What are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
spend another 6 months? Like,
Yeah.
hiding feelings, just keep running through life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get
So what?
so the homework about, you know, looking at the side where the bad, I forgot, distinguishing.
What is it being that displays possibility?
My anger, my mad, being mad, whatever. And
Yeah.
then I know I'm kind, I'm loving.
Yeah.
And I'm vacillating, and I'm like really struggling
Yeah.
to stay away from that angry side,
Yeah.
to like stay over here more.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
struggling with that.
Okay, so stay right there. So now you get what's there and what's happening. So there you are. That's you've got a set of concerns for, you know, getting through the day, surviving the day, avoiding what's going on with your body and how you feel. So if you get that, we get, you know, got that whole an authentic way of being. What can you create here? What can you actually be concerned for? And I know you created, you know, feeling people's feelings, but what else in this space? What can you create?
Well, that's what I, you know, that's
But
what
look newly in this moment. I know you've been trying to do something.
I'm creating love and kindness.
Hmm.
Love and kindness, and today I added happiness. Those two.
Yeah.
Creative happiness, loving kindness.
Yeah.
Loving kindness is what I'm in the process of.
Not in the process, look, you gotta be rigorous with the language here. No, I've let you suffer the whole seminar.
It's such a familiar way of being.
Yeah. And I got caught up in it. I let your familiar way of being run the show. You have suffered the whole seminar. You have been the walking dead in front of my eyes. The walking, talking dead, making things wrong, suffering.
I mean, I know how to compensate, I'm the
Yeah.
overachiever,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I know how to do all that
Yeah,
to cover up.
yeah,
That's my way of being.
yeah. And you've had a concern for, I don't know what, like, what would you say that concern with your feelings or your concern with your suffering? There's like some concern there that's,
Oh, nobody gives a shit about you.
okay, good, okay. So you have a concern, how is that concern? There's a concern that gives that thought just now. If you really like it, you could simplify human beings. We're not that complicated. I know you're all amazing phenomenons and you're all these individuals. But that's, but if you look, there's a concern that would give that thought that nobody gives a crap about me.
Well, sort of what Diana said, I mean, I identify with what everybody's saying.
Yeah, and what's that concern?
But I don't wanna tell anybody how I really feel
Because,
then they're gonna think I'm needy again. I don't
Okay.
wanna be needy.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need to be, so.
okay, good,
instead-
so, good. I have a concern that I don't wanna be needy. I don't wanna appear needy. Then you take actions that's perfectly correlated to a thought that people don't care about me. And then if you look at your life,
I don't tell them, cause I don't wanna appear to be needy, so
Yeah.
I don't really say it myself.
Yeah.
I'll say it half.
yeah, yeah. Although you take actions with, I mean, would you say you take actions as a needy person? I really don't know, I'm asking. Like, do you take actions actually consistent? Like, of course, we don't want to appear to be needy, but the same way that Chris doesn't want to appear to be a failure, although at the same time, you're probably failing in some things. I don't know if that's true, but are you?
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, we don't want to appear to be like that, although I'm a very needy person. I don't know if you are,
Well,
I'm just
I
looking.
think I used to be a very needy person, and I realized that's not who I want to be.
Yeah.
So I've modified my way of being, so
Yeah.
I've gone to the opposite.
Okay, good. So there's a pendulum swing. It's like, oh my God, I'm being nice. I should be mean. Or I've been mean to people. I need to be nicer. Or I've been so nice and I shouldn't be mean, so I just don't know what to do.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a good place to start.
I don't know how big.
Yeah. No, this is a perfect place. I know. This is the unfamiliar. This is the living outside the box. I don't know how to be. Finally, we've got an authentic place to start. Like, this is it. It's right here. Like, I don't know. Great. Because you've spent so much time not being a needy person or pretending not to be needy that you've tried to have all the answers or survive the day and not actually do any real creation. Now we've got a shot. So what's there for you?
I've been volunteering at, Wounded People Rescue, and I'm running around showing
don't.
pictures to people of my dog, and I said, well, I don't wanna make somebody feel bad, and
But
they're like, Cindy, you're not making us feel bad. We're
Yeah.
all dog people here. We
Yeah.
all love dogs. We're okay listening.
You're sure with them, so,
We're
Stay-
okay listening to what you have to say. And that's
Yeah.
one thing about not being heard. So,
but stay right here, because you want to start creating. So if you just look newly, what can you be concerned for? What could you have your attention on? What could you create your life as or for?
my concerns of what people are going to think of me.
Yeah, you could be free. And you could be concerned for freedom on the planet. Because you gotta get it bigger than just you. I know that people have done the advanced course, I know you can relate to that, but it's like you gotta get it bigger than you. Otherwise, freedom could just evolve right into what you've already done of trying to escape the day.
Yeah, I see glimpses of that and then I come back to me.
Yeah, yeah. So just stay right there with this. Stay right there. This is perfect. Okay? Yeah? What? Just say what's there.
I don't want to reveal this first, because it shows that I'm needy and it shows that.
Yeah. And if you're listening, really bring yourself forward to what Sandy's sharing here. Just telling them to really put their attention here. You said what you're about to reveal, or
No,
what
I'm
you've
just
been
saying
revealing?
that what I'm revealing to everybody is.
Yeah, I got it. It's unfamiliar. It's
Doing a little.
yeah, and then you might,
And then I go
then
back
it's
to
gonna
it.
fit all your concerns for do I appear needy and here I am at the mic crying and oh my gosh, what do they think of that? Chris already bailed for you. He was right here. So it's perfect. Just stay right there, okay? You gotta respond to this. Okay. Oh, sorry. I meant stay right there. Take a seat. Now we're gonna move on. We'll keep creating with this. Sorry. Yeah. See, stay with me. You're right there. Okay, so go ahead and turn to your partner and share what's opening up for you, what you're starting to get from this conversation. Take a minute each. Okay, take 15 seconds and then you'll switch. Make sure you switch. Go ahead and switch. All right, take 20 more seconds. Okay, wrap it up and acknowledge your partner. All right, you got to do a better job at acknowledging your partner. That was really okay, so in a moment we're going to do an exercise to deepen this distinction so you could actually see what this looks like, on the court. But before that, we have a special announcement. So let's welcome Don. Come on up. And Don is here with the family division, so he's got something quick to create for you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me here. Who knows about the family division? It's a separate division. Okay. All right, great. So I have assisted in this world of the family division. So who amongst you have family? Most of us. Good, good. Who has brothers and sisters and siblings? Okay, good. Most of us. All right. So we have a unique opportunity that comes along with having a family division in our area. A lot of us don't have it. On July 29th, we're going to have something called a family coaching session. And it's an opportunity to have a whole new level of breakthrough in your family of origin. So some people think, well, I don't have any teens or no. That's not what this course is about. This course is about you and your family of origin, where you came from. So what it is an opportunity to have a breakthrough in relating to the people in your lives as treasured individuals versus characters in the same old story. How many of you have family members who can push your button in a second? You just show up at a family event. So good job. That's an fleet area. Somewhere to go to work on in this course. So it's July 29th. The course tuition is $50. People that have recently taken the teen or young person form get their own scholarship. So if you're happy that they've already participated, they likely would get a scholarship to this. And one other unique thing about this.
Is it a free scholarship?
Yes.
Okay.
Scholarship, 100% scholarship if you participated in March, so you'll have a scholarship for you. And then your mom will want to come, and she would have a $50 tuition. The other unique thing about this, this family coaching session, it's the only program that Landmark produces where you don't have to give lunch to Landmark for. So you can have all like that cousin, uncle, the person that pushes your buttons, have them here and have a breakthrough with them. Then they get a sense of the work that you've been doing. And lost my train of thought, but it's a great opportunity to have people in your life to participate. Oh, and there is no opportunity So, it's for adults, 18 to whatever, graduates, non-graduates. And then it's for young people at teens who've done the lemon. That's the only requirement of the young people. Teens have to be inside of the conversation. Any other questions? All right, we're gonna July 29th on a Monday. So it's like the 11th session. So just put it on your calendar.
7 to 10.
Yep, 7 to 10, same like basic times. Can you hand out, anybody have interest, you know you want at least to see the flyer and you know you want to come, just raise your hand and we'll hand out the actual thing on the back. You just fill it out, put your credit card, leave it in the back tonight, and you're registered. Any questions about raising your hands? Awesome. Yes.
What if I had no family of origin in town? Would it tend to-
This is for you, right, if you could have a family here. That takes it to the next level, right? Whenever you participate in families, but, you know, they can participate in different cities. But, you know, you'd be here and you'd have the break, and then you'll have conversations with them, clear up.
But it would be
stuff.
beneficial even with, it would be beneficial even without a family.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd have breakthroughs and transforming the way you view. Right?
You know what the next time is gonna be offered?
Likely next July. It's once a year, the staff members in town for the landlord forum for young people, and the staff members are available to teach this course. Yes, that's what.
There's gonna be insecurity in case Uncle Joe gets out of hand?
You look like scary enough to handle it. If
Yeah,
you're
no,
like
no.
you're big enough. I've never seen it get out of hand. And people are highly trained to deal with upsets and breakthroughs. When you're breaking through something, you get upset. Any other questions about that? All right, if you're interested, fill it out. If you have questions, I can help you here tonight. Next question, next conversation, really quickly. We've already had a young person's introduction in your seminar, and we're looking to have another introduction next Monday as an opportunity. Does anybody know that they have young people that they want to be in this landmark forum coming up, but they haven't had a chance to have them as guests or to register? You have young people? Okay, and you want to have them as guests next week?
Yeah, I want to. I know that they're traveling. I just don't. So I don't know that travel date times.
Okay, you talk to me at the end of the evening. Anybody else? Team
I don't think we-
next March.
I think you have enough time
All right.
to think. But
Wait, that's it.
next week there's an introduction for teens and young people.
Young people.
Young people,
Because
no
I'm 3 weeks
teens.
out, just young people
Okay.
ages 8 to 12. And the parents have to be, like one of the parents has to be here or a legal guardian. Because it's a legal situation, so they give permission to sign it. So if they're a graduate or not, you can have your session next week and then bring their young people, 8 to 12. And they will create 3 years of their lives and they'll be like unrecognizable.
All right,
Thanks
so,
thanks for
just real quick, so if between now and our session next week, you know you wanna have people or you need coaching on it, I'll connect you with the family division, Dawn, but also let me know too, so that way we know how many to expect or who to expect, all of that, but just so it's, you know, it's clear. So, thank you, Dawn.
Awesome, thank you all.
Okay, so in this conversation, you will need a partner. So, where's Will? John?
I don't know, he went to the bathroom.
All right. Just so everybody knows what's happening as well. Didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. So to create So to create a life that's unpredictable, a life of breakthroughs, a life outside the box, requires living from a concern for what's possible. So let's actually talk about a concern for what's possible. So in the Landmark Forum, when transformation happens, the concern for what's possible naturally arises. And it naturally arises as a new realm of possibility. So you can distinguish This doesn't mean you're better than anybody or anything like that, but you can distinguish a graduate versus a non-graduate. Because what's likely there is there's a concern for, oh, there's something possible. Or if you hear somebody dealing with something in their family, maybe that didn't seem possible before, but now there's a concern for, there's something that could do something about that. Or that's actually possible to get complete with your dad, or to restore this relationship, or to start this business. Now, after Landmark Forum, you're left with the opportunity to continually generate the concern for what's possible moment by moment by moment, day by day by day. Then after Landmark Forum, as you go through life and deal with the challenges that may come your way, at every moment you have an opportunity to live for a concern for what's possible. Now, given that, it's critical to get clear about where you need to go to have your life given by a concern for possibility. So when it all breaks down, and when you're thrown back into a world of no possibility, where do you go to create a concern for what's possible? So if you actually look, so I'll ask that again. When it all breaks down, and when you're thrown back into a world of no possibility, where do you go to create a concern for what's possible? Yeah, Brandon? The unfamiliar? Not quite. Yeah, Thomas? Familiar. Lou?
New context.
A new context. Skylar?
Actually, in that big breakdown, I
Yeah.
don't go anywhere. I just stay in it. I don't go. I don't look for possibilities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because maybe you don't have an access available, and we're creating that access here. Danielle?
Brainstorm new ideas and new goals and.
Could go to brainstorming. Yeah, Matt?
It's not working.
Go to what's not working. Christina?
What's so?
Go to what's so. Seminar with that. Yeah, Vanessa? So you go to your inauthentic ways of being. All right, I'll give it to you. Where you go is you go to your listening. You literally go to your listening. The concerns that constitute who we are exist in our listening. Therefore, every time you are struggling in life and every time you lose power, you want to get clear about what you are listening for. Then, in your listening, you can give up whatever is disempowering and create a concern for what's possible. In that moment, you shift from listening for what's wrong to listening for what's possible right now, right here. The concern for what's possible then starts to give you being in the world. And in that moment, you're living in a world of possibility. And in that moment, the world shows up for you as a possibility. The people in your life start to show up as a possibility. Then you start to create new openings for action and new ways of being consistent with being in the world of possibility. You know, I just noticed this a couple of nights ago. There's one of our friends' husband. I remember when probably 3 years ago when we met him, he was, you know, I think first time we met him, like he never came out, never came out with us, never came to a party. And first party he comes to, a lot of people, and then he's sitting on the couch, and you know, just away from everybody. And it was like right there, it already created a listening. Like, this guy's weird, you know, and he's never come out, never met the guy, I've only heard about him. Like, I already had a creative listening of who he is. Like, it's a fact. Like, this is just who he is. And I tried to engage in a conversation. We tried to like get him to come out, talk about sports, and then I'm just like bored. I'm like, all right, this guy is boring and he's weird. That's just who he is. Just boring and weird. And she's cool. he must be cool behind the scenes. I don't know. And we would, we would talk about it. Like, man, it's just like kind of strange. And but that's who he was. Like in my listening, that's who I created. There's no possibility there. There's no anything. There's just this is who this guy is. I don't want to talk to him. Y'all can talk to him. I'm going to go do other things. I'm going to hang out with the fun people. So fast forward, he did the forum, did the advanced course. He's now done the curriculum. But we were hanging out with him last week, and my wife and I were talking about it. He's so cool. He's so funny. Like, he's so interesting. He's just like, he's awesome. Like, it was just who he became, and I was not listening for that. Like, there was no possibility present in my listening. He was just boring and weird. Guy who sits at a party on his own or doesn't come and hang out. He's weird. But it was all given by my listening. He had no shot to show up any different way. He's like, hi, let's talk about sports. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. All right, man. Cool. Yeah, we got a fantasy team. Awesome. Let's talk about that. Do you have a question? Yes, Dan?
So what's not the, is that not the context with which you viewed him?
Yeah, it's context.
So
It's
listening
everything.
and context are interchangeable?
No. Just stay right here in this conversation.
Okay.
Just stay right here.
I heard when you were saying that you were viewing him, or the context in which you viewed him
Yeah,
was boring and nothing much to
for
say.
sure. Yeah.
So if
Given by my listening
given
of
by
who he
your
was.
listening of so if you at that juncture
Just stay, don't go hypothetical. Don't try to figure something out. Just stay right here in the conversation. Just stay right here in the conversation. Okay? We're good. Yeah. Sit. We'll continue. Now I have to tell people. So-
stay right here.
Stay right there. We're gonna get there. But you sit. I know, now I have to tell them. You sit. You listen. You listen for possibilities. And you get your life here.
You are right.
Yeah. Fundamentally concerned for being right. That is awesome. Yeah. All right. So where were? Oh. So anyway, you got the point. Guy, I listen as boring, weird. That's who he was. Like a fixed way. Like that's just who he is. No possibility could arise inside of that listening. So, and I know you can look at this and you go, but there are people who just are boring and weird. No, in that listening, he was boring and weird given by my listening, like that's who he is. Fixed human being. He's a guy. He's married to her. He is boring. He is weird. And there's gravity. Those are the facts of life. Like it is a fact. My listening created that as that is who he is. He had no shot to be anything else. He had his shot. And we started talking about, I love talking about sports, and even that was boring. So he became that instantly in that listening. So creating a concern for what's possible doesn't mean you no longer have your old concerns. You're just being responsible for the already always concerns. Living from a concern for what's possible won't make your life any easier or won't solve your problems. In fact, the real challenge is to create a concern for what's possible when everyone around you is in a world of no possibility. That's the real test. So you can notice that people in your life, the people you interact with and work with, are often in a conversation for no possibility. Hold on. That's because they're just like you. Human beings are fundamentally resigned and cynical. People are always in a conversation for no possibility. People are, remember you're people. People are always in conversations for no possibility. Resignation and cynicism are not bad and wrong, though. Being resigned and cynical are just possible ways of being in life. In fact, the more you create a possibility, the more that possibility drives up resignation and cynicism. The seminar has been about equipping you to deal with the conversations for no possibility that inevitably show up when you are living from a concern for what's possible. So, now we're going to make this real for you. So we're going to do an exercise on what it takes to generate a concern for what's possible in the face of no possibility and no agreement. So to do this exercise, you need to be in touch with something that exists for you as a possibility. Get something that you're passionate about, something that you love, something that moves you, it inspires you, it touches you. It could be anything, as long as it's a possibility for you. So now you're going to work with a partner. So, we got to get Lou. Everybody else, we're good? All right, Will, you come be with Lou?
Yep.
All right, now find a partner, person next to you. Pick an A and a B. We didn't say have a conversation. Pick an A and a B. A. All right, now A, you're going to go first. You're going to share what you're really passionate about with a commitment to B, really getting it as a possibility. And B, you have a job in this exercise. What do you think that is?
Shoot it down.
Yeah, you're not going to listen, you're not going to be a conversation. You're a conversation for no possibility. You are going to be your best resigned and cynical jerk punk self that you could possibly be. No problem. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, so B, you're in a conversation for no possibility, and no matter what A says, your job is to be reasonable, resigned, and cynical. Now here's the important part of the exercise. A, you are then going to react to B being resigned and cynical. A, you're going to react to B being resigned and cynical. So you can take yourself, you know your ways of being and acting. When you get triggered, you want to exaggerate that here. Some of you don't even need to exaggerate it, it's just going to automatically be there. So I don't mean get angry, but I mean you're going to defend with your possibility and you're going to completely disagree with B's view. And you want to make sure that B gets that being resigned and cynical is wrong compared to your possibility. You're going to make sure that they get that they're wrong. A, you tell B that they are wrong. Like, no, this is it. This is blah, 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 blah. And you want to make sure that B gets that being resigned and cynical is wrong compared to your possibility. You want to really give them the evidence for why they are a jerk for disagreeing with you. And then you'll switch roles. So hold on.
It's a very difficult marriage conversation.
Just channel Sierra at the last session, and then you got it. Okay, so stay with me. Just listen. Then you're going to switch roles, and B will share what you're passionate about, and A will be in a conversation for no possibility. It's going to be your payback. Then B will make A wrong for resisting. We're going to do this for 5 minutes. So are there any questions about that?
So we're going to trade back and forth.
So I'm going to switch you halfway through. So for the first half, it's going to be A, you're sharing. B, you're resigned and cynical. You're being your normal self, exaggerated. A, you make them wrong, which you would naturally do. And then it's going to be a good battle. Okay, any other questions? Amy, did you have a question? Oh. Okay. We're going to give you 5 minutes. We'll tell you when to switch and begin.
Zach, what are you passionate about?
All right, take 15 more seconds and then you'll switch. 15 more seconds.
Yeah, totally.
All right, switch. Go ahead and switch. seconds, 30 more seconds. Okay, start to wrap it up. All right, and acknowledge your partner.
Okay, how was that? All right. Okay, so here's the question. So what was it like moving from sharing a possibility to reacting to what's wrong?
It's very unfamiliar now.
Stand up.
I found it very unfamiliar. It just was not comfortable, it just,
Yeah,
and it wasn't in a direction that actually
yeah,
added any value
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah, added no value, and then you have to experience, like, that's just not who I am anymore. Yeah, yeah, awesome, yeah, Kim?
It made me feel sad, and I'm normally like a pretty positive person, and it was really hard for me to be the person who was like, no, that's not gonna work, and whatever I was saying to her,
Yeah.
it was hard.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I think last time I did this exercise, the person was sharing about ending sex trafficking. It's like, how can I, what jerk is, even me at my worst is not even like, yeah, who cares? It was like, oh, it was miserable. It was like torture. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, stay character, resign, yeah, Skylar?
So, wait, repeat the question real quick. It's the difference between sharing and...
What was it like moving from sharing a possibility to reacting to what's wrong?
It was surprising, because sharing is always hard, so that was difficult no matter what. Sharing my possibilities, like, that's the hardest thing for me to do.
Yeah.
But I never react when someone doesn't take it all I want to. I'm always, like, very nice and cordial about it. So in this space, just need to let it happen. I think part of me needs to like release it.
Yeah.
Because I have all these conversations in my head of like, what are people gonna say when I tell them this thing I'm doing? They're gonna say it's not gonna happen, or it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
or whatever. And then in my head, I'm like, well, screw you. What do you do? What do you?
Yeah.
I have all these internal, just like conflict
Yeah.
in my head that I never actually express. I'm very nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never say it.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do. That.
No, that's, I mean, like, well, it's not like there's, you know, it's, you're gonna get whatever you get, but you can even take the case that how suppressed we get, not maybe like go to the screw you, what do you do? But there is a different way of being that's possible now.
Yeah.
You know, like just me. I think I've shared this a couple times, but I remember last time I led the Breakthrough Seminar was the first access I got where I was yelling at people. And that was not who I was. I yelled at a customer who wasn't paying money. And it was unfamiliar. And I remember calling my friend, I'm sure some of you heard me share this like a bunch of times, but I remember calling him and I'm like, am I going crazy here? I just yelled at a customer. And then I also yelled at these guys who are doing some fishy stuff with this project we're doing. And he's like, look, you just have new ways of being available to you in business that weren't available to you. And it really did. It sparked the breakthrough for me. Because there was a fight for integrity. There wasn't a, I'm so nice. My inauthentic way of being was I'm just so transformed. Like I'm a seminar leader and I can just put up with more stuff. Like that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Like I don't need to hold people to account. I don't need to be that. Like it's just weird. So just consider there's new openings. Maybe don't go all the way to that pendulum, but there's new ways of being available. All right, one more. Yeah, Lou, stand up.
This really lands from what I got in SCLP, that reacting to something in not sharing possibility, yet reacting to something that's wrong, it definitely felt disempowering. And with what you just said is my biggest question is how do we occur for people differently and enroll them when we think they're wrong? Like we would love to, with every fiber of our being, we want to say that they're wrong.
Yeah.
How can we change how we're occurring for them to be to
Make
not,
the difference?
Yeah, like how do we engage with them? Yeah, how do we
Yeah.
engage with someone we think is wrong, but yet like create a space to be enrolling? That's like my biggest hurdle, I guess,
Yeah.
that I've had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So look, just from the question, maybe you're concerned for getting an answer, figuring something out. What would you say you're concerned for from that question?
So yeah, the question is, okay. How do I look good?
That's a good.
I would say that's one of the
That's a
underlying
good-
ones.
You sound, you're awesome, what an awesome guy for asking that question. You definitely look good. Fulfill that concern. Yeah. But here's where I'll shift it, because we're about to, continue the exercise, but.
Can we redo that so we can actually realistically listen and have a conversation?
Maybe just slow your roll a little bit. But just to dig that in, if you're having a concern for how do I make a difference, it will arise inside that concern.
Rather than being so concerned that this person is viewing me.
Don't even worry about rather than or
So
whatever.
it's like living in the
you can
space.
just get whatever I'm listening for.
So listen
Do I have a
for a space
concern?
of possibility to
Yeah.
be impactful and a space for transformation and everything else. Shoot it
Yeah,
down.
just let it arise. It's if you watch, like that's what we're trained in leading the seminars. That's what forum leaders are trained in. A lot of times we think that they're just the forum leaders are just trained to have the answer and they just know and they've been through this before. The second they think they know something, they're screwed. It's a listening. You go start off creating the already always listening to start the Landmark Forum. They're listening for that arising with people. They're listening for people at the mic to come up and listening for what's the already always listening here. There is a listening there. There's many different other things that there's a listening for. So if you're listening for how can I make a difference here, something might be distinct. Then there's no answer.
Totally. Which is what I just arise to. So
Yeah.
what I'm present to is